too many of those things. You need to sell some of them. You're wasting all your time and money on models. Paint what you have.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Model Club TV episode 33. That's easy with the fingers.
33. Yeah. Read between the lines, pal. Okay.
It's going to be that kind of episode. How are you, Scott?
I'm great.
It's almost Halloween.
It is almost Halloween. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, it's almost Halloween.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see if you recover from that.
Yeah. What do you want to have? A birthday party now?
Yeah, I want a birthday party right now.
We're going 6 days early, and you want the party now.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot to wish you happy birthday on this, so I'm not going to make a big deal out about it. So we're good. It rained a lot. Last day was like 28 hours of rain? 20, like ridiculous.
Yeah, you told me earlier you got some seepage.
Got some seepage.
And I didn't know if that was anal seepage or what was going on.
That's the usual kind of seepage.
Swamp ass. But
yeah.
What was strange is I haven't even heard my sump pump go off. So my water level in the ground must be really low right now. And usually when it rains as much, I'll get puddles in the backyard. And nothing this morning.
Nothing?
So
wow.
It's yeah. I mean, I'm not saying we didn't get a lot of rain, but I've had way worse.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I have to catch up on my sideshow dilemma.
Yeah, because Jason's right on top of things.
Yeah, I always forget to say stuff. So Sideshow did get back to me with my broken Fell Beast head, and they gave me $100 gift card. Or I had the option to return the statue and get all my money back. But they could not replace it because they were out of them. So it was a tiny little head or give the whole thing up. So I decided to just go with the $100 gift card.
And we could give it away.
It's not even a gift card. It's in my account. So that's what I was thinking at first. But they added into your account, there's like a section for that. So now I have to find something to spend $100 on a sideshow, which really there's not much. That's $100. So
I can find something. I'll pick something out.
All right, you pick something out.
You can make up for not wishing me a happy birthday.
Okay. All right.
Wouldn't that be grand?
So the other thing I forgot to show last episode, but it really fits in perfectly for this episode, is my friend Jim gave me an awesome record, and I wanted to share it. Good friend Jim, little Jim Stores. Check that out.
Wow, that is an awesome record.
So, in really good condition. I think he found it in like a box of his stuff, and it plays. It's scratched in a couple places, but it's really nice. And
I always love the artwork on that.
Yeah, Famous Monsters Speak, and it has that's the box art from all the model kits, right?
The Wolfman, I don't know where the Wolfman came from.
Wolfman's
the Mummy and the Creature for sure.
Yeah. This is
and
different.
Then the Monster, yeah, those are different.
But Mummy and the Creature are the same one. And then it has some other quotes.
I don't even know why they're on there, because they've got nothing to do with the
What does the creature say, really?
Yeah.
Just bubble noises. So I'm gonna we started listening to it to make sure it worked, and it totally does. But there wasn't, it's not like I thought it was lines from the movie, and it's not. It's like
so what it is, and I have a CD copy of it.
Okay.
So what it is it was an old radio show type thingy.
Okay. This says it's from 73, this record. Does that seem right?
That one might be, but I think it came out sooner than that. Famous Monsters used to sell, because look at the two that they're advertising on the back.
Okay.
Are older issues of Famous Monsters.
All right.
But it could be 70, in the early 70s. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's 73.
But they reissued it a ton of times too.
Yep.
So
thank you, Jim. That's awesome. It probably is reissued, I'll bet.
But it's funny because it's got nothing to do with any of the movies. The one side is kind of, and I won't spoil it for you, but the one side is the monster raving out at the doctor.
Like dancing, like raving dancing?
No, raving.
Oh, raging.
Raving like you rave about dumb shit. And then like I
don't rave against dumb shit. I rave against
76 Kong. Okay. And then the Dracula is like a reporter, and Dracula. It's kind of
really
weird.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, it's,
I was gonna try and save it for Halloween and listen to it that night or something. So
they're really, it's fun, but it's and a lot of those old famous Monsters albums were old little radio things that they put on albums. I didn't realize that till recently.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I have a King Kong one somewhere.
Oh,
and it's like the captain narrating the whole story.
Oh, really? That's kind of cool.
So
excellent. Have you watched any movies?
No, I want to watch movies, but I haven't.
So you didn't watch Suicide Squad?
I'm not going to watch Suicide Squad. I'm not going to watch Malignant, but I might watch the movie that I know you want to talk about.
I watched Dune, and I really liked it.
Have you ever read the book?
I have not.
Okay, I'm just curious.
So my brother is a huge Dune freak, like read all the books. I, on the other hand, you won't be surprised by this. I used to play the Dune 2 video game hours upon hours, which is just an RTS where you move your little your army around the map and try and harvest spice before the worm came out. And you're against the Ordos and the Harkonnens and all this stuff. And so that's where my backstory and I did not read the book because I'm terrible at I lose my place. But and I was a big fan.
What you're telling me, is it like doing math?
Yeah, it is kind of like doing math sometimes. I think I mentioned it before. I found out I have this thing called Seasickness Syndrome. Did I mention this before?
Dear God, no.
So it's C as in SEE, where I get motion sickness from looking at things. So if a train is going by, I'll get motion sick. And if I'm looking at the train, the one that really, like when kids come into my classroom and it's a line and I watch the line go by, I almost fall over. So I can't look at that. So one of the, even scrolling on a phone, when you're scrolling up like this, makes me sick. And one of the other big things they said was reading, is you'll be reading and you lose your place all the time. And I always thought that was just normal for me, but it turns out it might be part of that. Anyway, enough about that. I love the other movie too, the David Lynch movie. I really, really like that. I know people have problems with it, and I know I mean, I do too. But this was so non-Marvel that I was so afraid they were going to turn it into a Marvel Technicolor jokey fest like they do with everything. And the ship design was like just so cool. The costumes, the architecture, it was taken seriously. It's not without flaws. I think there's some little things in there, but I think out of sci-fi movies, there haven't been some like, did you see Annihilation? No. Come on. So sure. I think outside of that was one of the better sci-fi movies in the last few years. And this is up there. This is so good. I hope people see it. I will not be seeing it in the theater because you know my record with the theater. I'm not getting into a fight. And I watched it at home and it was awesome.
Did you have to pay for it or do you have HBO Max?
I have HBO Max, so I watched it on there. And it's in Atmos and it sounded great. It looked great. And I heard the second one got greenlit and I cannot wait for that. Like they're going to do, it doesn't get through the first book. I know it kind of ends in a nice spot, but I wanted more. And I think they did a really good job with it. If anyone else saw it, leave comments. I'd love to know.
I wonder how long before we start to see 3D modeling of this stuff already.
You know what? I should look. There's got to be the ships alone. I think there's the ornithopters are done correctly where they look like they have dragonfly wings, and there's some really cool spaceships in there, and even the costumes. Like and the sound, the music was amazing. The way the Sardaukar talk, the throat talking they do is just, anyway, enough about Dune, but please watch it. Support original sci-fi that's not a joke at this point. And it's great.
And Mary Jane's in it.
Mary Jane.
from the Spider-Man movies, Zendaya or whatever.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch any of those. So
yeah.
Oh, I watched one of them. That is her. Holy crap! I didn't even realize that. You know who Lady Jessica I just realized is from? You didn't. I bet you didn't see this. From the sequel to The Shining. My brain just broke. Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, my wife wants to see that. She just watched The Shining.
That is, dude, watch it. Rose the Hat is one of the main
I never
characters.
saw The Shining. She watched it the other day, though. She was watching it. And she said she was surprised The Shining was not nominated for any like major awards, like Academy Awards, because she thought the acting and everything was so good in it. So
how could you have not seen The Shining?
Here's Johnny. I don't know. I
oh my God. All right. We're just going to let it go. We're going to let these go from now on.
Well.
I also started, this is actually a long movie segment. I started watching Squid Game.
You didn't know who the Groovy Ghoulies were. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a cartoon. Squid Game. Watch that. Everyone's talking about
the one with the PlayStation controller symbols in their head?
Yeah, it's I'm 3 episodes in, and that's good.
I knew what it was at least.
You did know what it was. Good job. It's really good. So, okay. Giveaways.
Giveaway.
Our giveaway is going to run a tad different this time. I am going to
handpick who he wants to win.
No, they're in here. So I'm going to pull 3 tickets. All right. And I'm hoping that they come out okay. If not, I'm finding a new way to do this, to do it a little quicker. So the giveaways we have are from Hang Hilger. We have, shut up, Scott. We have our Poison Ivy kit, and pull them up. We have our Poison Ivy. I'll just pull a piece of it. I'll edit this. From Hang Hilger, we have our Poison Ivy. From Hang Hilger, we have Mommy. Mommy! What are you doing?
See if I can make you seasick.
Ah, that does actually. I don't like that. So we have Mommy from Hang Hilger. 2 great kits. 2 really great kits. And then we have Sandy from Pestilence Lab and Mark Worthling. I messaged Mark today in a sheer panic because I noticed there wasn't a cigarette with it. But it doesn't come with a cigarette. You have to make that on your own. So it does not come with the kit. When you see that, I was like, oh shit, I lost the cigarette. And I didn't. So from Sandy from Mark Worthling.
That's why Mark thinks you're an idiot.
I know.
I'm just saying.
Most people think I'm an idiot. So, all right, here's the drawing. Everyone, this is how it's going to work. Scott's going to name the kit it's for. If it's in all 3, it'll go to the kit Scott says. So here we go. Scott, name the kit.
Poison Ivy.
That is not for a Poison Ivy.
It's like the old grand prize game.
That is not for a Poison Ivy. Jeff Lamont just got the Poison Ivy.
Jeff Lamont.
All right, hold on. Let me write that on the ticket so I don't screw that up like everything else. P.I. Poison Ivy. Okay. Which one is this for, Scott?
Let's go with Mommy.
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 Nope, that's a Sandy.
Mommy.
That's a Sandy.
Mommy.
There were a bunch of people that put all 3. Sandy.
Mommy. Mommy. Mommy.
Okay, I'm going to start taking the Sandys out and then put them back in later.
Mommy.
All 3. Michael Sterling gets
Sterling.
Mommy.
Gets our mommy.
All right. Now, Scott, what's this for?
Sandy.
Larry Bailey gets the Sandy.
Larry Bailey.
So those are our winners. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Thank you, Hang Hilger, for the 2 kits, Mommy and Poison Ivy. Check out Hang on Facebook, Hang Hilger. His contact info will be below. And thank you, Mark Worthling, for the Sandy kit. His kit is also available through Facebook, but there's the button.
Do you have it spelled right this time?
I have it spelled right. I fixed it.
What a maroon.
I fixed it. Okay. A maroon. What is this, Looney Tunes? The giveaway for this episode, Scott, is
donated by our friend Sergeant Bublick, a.k.a. Paul Gill, and Gillman Productions and Mark Van Tyne.
Cool.
And this is a set of ornaments. I think Paul told me they were ornaments, but now I'm going to hold these up. We got a picture of it up, and I'm going to hold them up too. And these are beautiful, by the way.
That's Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry and the Hendersons, and they are flat on the back. So if you got now, this one would require some magnets because let me tell you, these got some heft. Okay, so you have Barlow.
Oh man,
and the pictures are actually better, but man, the castings are really nice.
All
of these signed by Mark Van Tyne, the sculptor.
Cool.
Curse of the Werewolf.
First time I'm seeing these in person. Oh, nice.
And they're good size. I don't know if you can tell, but
those are great size. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one is, I mean, this one's huge. This Harry.
That's great.
And so we're gonna give these away. And I don't know. What are we giving them away? How are we going to give them away?
I think it should be your worst Christmas story in the comments below.
Man, and I have a great worst Christmas story, but
good. Yeah, we'll tell it next episode.
Yes, remind me. But yeah. So your worst Christmas. Give us your worst Christmas story, or the worst thing that happened to you on Christmas.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't want a paragraph because Jason can't read. So. Just give us a quick cliff note, and maybe we'll read some of them on air, or those that go on the YouTube channel can read them all, maybe be entertained. So give us your worst, and then give us a enter the contest. And I don't want anything horrible like my dad died on Christmas or something. I don't know. Maybe this isn't a good idea.
No, it'll be a great idea. I think that would be hilarious. Let's do it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, okay, so your worst Christmas story. If you give us your worst Christmas story, you will be entered to win all three of these. We're doing this a little early. We were going to put it off, but I want to give people a chance to paint these and hang them on their tree. Or in the case of this one, if your tree's leaning one way, you could put it on the other side and it would balance out. This is just... I wish you could see this. Well, you can see it on the photo. This sculpt is amazing.
Yep, that is a good Harry.
This is just wow.
Do I dare ask?
What?
Have you seen Harry and the Hendersons?
I have not. No, it's a Yeti.
Have you read Harry and the Hendersons?
No, I didn't even know it was a book. Have you read it?
I have. I love that book as a kid. I did read that.
Book. Oh, look out! The boat's rocking.
Which is why they might have thought I had a learning disability when I was a kid. Anyway.
Now they know.
Yeah, they know.
Okay, so that's our giveaway.
Yes.
Thanks again to Paul Gill, Mark Van Tyne, Gillman Productions. I think these are still available from him, so get a hold of Paul for price. I don't think he gave me a price. If he did, I dropped the ball. I apologize, Paul. I apologize, Paul,
you know what?
I dropped the ball.
Paul, I know Paul has entered and not won, and he has given us so much stuff.
I know. I was kind of hoping he won this time.
I know, me too. Paul, if there's something you would like printed, let me know. Okay, I'll just leave it at that.
There we go. Yeah,
if you free of charge,
we will take care of those.
Yeah, we'll take care of you if you need something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't print anything out.
I know. We'll talk about that in our mini workbench. Upcoming giveaway. We have a huge Black Friday giveaway, which will be
Black Friday,
the second episode in November. Huge kit, big deal. And I want to say thank you to Ed Riley, who has sent us a few issues, back issues of AFM to give away as well. So thank you, Ed, for sending those. And thank you to, I'm not even going to say who it's from because I want it to be a surprise. So a good Black Friday giveaway coming up.
And I may dive into the horde and see if I can't throw a few things in.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I might print something up. We're going to do a Black Friday thing. So, yeah. All right. Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. News and reviews. First thing, I found this on the Weathered Models page on Facebook. And this is more of a, I did. Oh my God. So I asked him if it was okay if we shared it. This is from Daniel Jackson, and it is a War of the Worlds diorama. You know how we love our War of the Worlds here. This thing is so badass. And if you don't know what Weathered Models is, please go on Facebook and join that group. There is even if you're like not a military person or anything, there is some of the coolest things in scale modeling you will ever see in the Weathered Models group. So please check it out. But anyway, Daniel Jackson, this thing is beautiful. This great diorama. I love the explosions and the melting tanks. It looks so awesome. So awesome.
And it really does. And I want to echo what you say about Weathered Models. Sometimes you'll see a picture on there and you'll think it's the real thing.
You think it's totally real?
It'll be a building and they'll have it they'll take a picture of it outside and you'll go, wow.
Yeah. Like the one I saw. I should find it. I wonder if it's still there. It was just the picture of a door with a bunch of graffitis and stickers on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And it looked, but anyway.
And then they'll show it and it'll be like this big, and you'll be like, fuck those guys.
Yep. But yeah, Daniel Jackson, well done. Take a bow. This thing is cool. Really, really cool. And as far as kits that I actually got some kits this month. It is it was a Kickstarter, and I kind of want to take this opportunity, and this is a big deal, to apologize to George Stevenson for we got in a huge internet argument many years ago. And I don't even know if he'll watch this episode, who knows, about Kickstarter. And I think Scott and I's position was very different than George's position. And since then, I have done a bunch of Kickstarters, not so much for model kits, but for games and miniatures and stuff. And I think Scott and I were just worried about it ruining garage kits, and it didn't, but it's changed. And I think everything has changed so much at this point in time that George might have been a little ahead on the curve of that, and I was maybe being a little old fashioned. So, take that as you will, if you will.
And I'll say, and George and I have since worked it all out, and you and George kind of have too. Obviously, he's been on. Our concerns were never about George Stevenson taking anyone's money or anything like that, because our concerns at that time were really about does this open the door for people that are unscrupulous and stuff like that? And luckily it has not. And I'm not saying it's not happened to anyone ever on a Kickstarter, but it was just, there's such an old fashioned way of doing things in the garage kit hobby. And what I'm learning through digital printing and all this is that there's new ways to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So,
and one of my issues was still the same old, and I still think this is the right way to do it. Make something you like, and if people want it, produce it. And to go out and hire a sculptor is a lot of money, but using Kickstarter it's one of the only ways these days. I think it's probably with how much things cost, it's But anyway, this is something there was a Kickstarter from Broken Toad, which is a miniatures company and a paintbrush, actually hobby supply company out of England, along with Black Sun Miniatures, and they did a Dark Crystal and Labyrinth Kickstarter. They are super expensive for what you get, but I think it's worth every penny. It's stuff I've been waiting for since I was a kid. I love Dark Crystal. Scott, I'm not even going to ask. I remember sitting in first grade drawing Skeksis after seeing it and watching the making of it in the Henson workshop.
What's a Skeksis? Sounds like something you need a penicillin shot for.
They're in the middle picture, right there.
All right.
So that would be a Skeksis.
Oh, I'm really itching. I got Skeksis. Okay.
Anyway, Joe Dunaway, if you're watching.
No one ever says, hey, man, I got King Kongs. No, but you probably got Skeksis. All right.
But these miniatures are great. And I did a mini review, a little mini unboxing on my own YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to go look at that. But the packaging on these things is just it has magnet gatefold boxes. And
because nobody wants to see your Skeksis.
They're in there. Yeah, I do. But check them out. It's great. They're up for regular sale now. I think the prices are a little maybe higher than they were, but they come from England.
3D sculpts?
Yes, I think they originally were, and then printed and then cast. So, they're great. It's something I've wanted these forever. My only regret is they didn't make a Gartham, and Scott doesn't know what I'm talking about, but other people do.
I thought Gartham, isn't that where Batman? Gotham City?
That's Gotham City.
Oh, yeah, Gotham. Yeah.
Well, if you're the Penguin, it might be Gotham.
See?
But and then the Labyrinth stuff was really cool too. I couldn't afford it because it was really expensive. So check them out, Broken Toad. I'll put a link there for that as well. And that's what I got, Scott. What do you got?
All the money you're making from this, and you couldn't afford the Labyrinth.
I lose money on this show. Actually,
we both.
Yeah,
I could be hired. I could be making money with this talent. Okay.
All right.
Hold on. God, sorry. Dark Crystal Skex. I get Skexis. Whatever it is. Okay. Anyway. From my good friend down in Brazil, Winner.
I wonder if he'd say the same thing.
He would.
Okay.
Because I know for a fact that he's gotten some sales off of these groovy ghoulies because of me. And he's finished the line.
You're his pimp.
He's finished the line for now. And we have Wolfie, which I think is fantastic. And Frankie. And Bella Lagastly. And I wasn't sure he was going to do her, so it was kind of cool that he did do her. And I can't wait to print these, but unfortunately the printer is still down. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But I did already buy these files, and I'm ready to do it. And yeah, we got some more surprises coming from not too distant future too. Maybe we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but it's a pretty big one for Scott.
Yes. So anyway, these are out there, and I love this guy's work, and just a really nice guy too. So next is from round 2. They've announced the last of the 4 original MPC Wacky Racers kits, the Turbo Terrific. And this is one I only owned a built-up of when I did own it. And I own boxed kits of the other 3, but so this is the last one in that line. I wish they would do more, but I doubt they'll spend the money on doing that. But there's a gentleman doing a Mean Machine that we hope comes out on the digital, and there's a few different sites. So so that's coming. So I'm excited. So that'll round that set out.
Yep.
This next photo is my friend Kenny Caruso and his girlfriend Jerry lost their dog Mac, and Mac was a beast. He was a half Mastiff, half Great Dane.
Jeez.
And he had a lot of personality. He would sing, like when this one commercial came on. They've got videos of him. Yeah. And I've got a photo where he's sleeping and his face is like planted in the ground. It looks like he's melted into the ground. He was. I never met this dog, but I love this dog. And they thought he had injured himself, and it turned out that he had bone cancer and was in a lot of pain, and they had to put him down. And really sad. I know they're still suffering firsthand. I know they're still suffering because what I went through. So to the right of that comes our good friend Tony Cipriano. Felt so bad about this that he sculpted this and printed it out and sent it to Kenny.
Holy cow.
Girlfriend Jerry. And so kudos to Tony. What a nice gesture. And Tony would always comment on the Mac photos too and videos and stuff like that. And I would too. I would have loved to have met this dog. He seemed like he just was loaded with personality. Yeah. And a gentle giant, basically. So My condolences and sympathy to Kenny and Jerry and Mac. They still have a beagle. They're stuck with a beagle like me. Riley. But Riley does a little more than my beagle. My beagle's still more like furniture. But I just thought, not that this is so model related, but the gesture that Tony did here was fantastic.
Yeah, and it looks really nice too. That's a really nice piece.
And Tony told me I haven't even sculpted my own dogs yet, but so there we go. But I just thought it was cool. So,
wow, yeah, that's wow, hard to follow. Chuck Homolka sent this in, and I thought this was a really cool picture. So did he. It's from the newsletter from Michigan Toy Soldier for I think October. And it just put a bunch of the Aurora kits together. It's a really nice picture, I thought, with a lot of the pieces in there. And painted well.
And I will tell you, those are all original boxes.
Really?
Yes. Now, I don't know if the buttons are original, but the boxes are all original. So, and then that's a Mike Parks Famous Monster plaque in the middle.
Yeah. So thanks, Chuck, for sending it in. That's really cool. The workbench shrunk down. So,
oh wait, I got something.
What? You always do this to me.
I'm sorry, I forgot all about it. So I was watching this video about a guy doing something. I forgot. It was a 3D printing video, and you've probably seen these before because you know everything. And he showed this G tool. Okay, what the G tool is, it's like a toothbrush. Okay. Except for doesn't turn on.
Was it a scrubber?
No, it's a sander.
Oh.
No,
I did see one of those somewhere once before. You sure that's a sander? Sounds like something else.
Well, if you put this somewhere else, it's gonna get abrasive. Okay, so there's little
turn it around the other way, handle first. Never mind. We're talking about two different things.
No, that's because you've got a problem. So it comes with the different grits. A little thing of 600, 800, and 1,000.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's just for little quick cleanups. I guess these just
G
stick to this
tool.
thing. G
Where'd you get it?
Amazon.
All right.
And
I'll put a
Mr.
link.
Hobby.
I'll find a link. All right. Mr. Hobby.
Mr. Hobby. And I think it was like $20.
All right.
Really...
G tool. Mr. Hobby.
Oh.
I want one of those, actually.
I know. It's kind of cool.
All right. That fits into the workbench. Sort of. Anyway. Yeah. Mini workbench. Scott, how's your workbench?
My workbench is terrible. My workbench consisted of me going down and stirring up my denatured alcohol so everything wouldn't be settled and hardened at the bottom of my wash station. I got a note yesterday from Elegoo that they still haven't even made my motherboard yet. So
that sucks.
I watched some videos on replacing the Mosfet, which is what I believe is wrong. And I think I'm going to tackle trying to fix it on my own.
Yeah. That tells me that a lot of people had a problem with the motherboard.
Yes.
So it wasn't just me and you. If they're having to manufacture ones and they're back ordered like that, there's a lot of something wrong with that motherboard.
And the bad thing is, and I don't want to knock Elegoo because they do get back to you.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, I hear, you should have got this one. You should have got this one. When this thing's running, it's great.
Yeah.
So no problems, so I look at a lot of these boards and some of these problems guys are having, and I'm like, how is this happening to you? Because
I had some of the craziest things that go wrong.
Yes.
I don't even get it.
If you get a 3D printer by now and you don't get a screen protector, shame on you.
Yeah,
you're a moron.
Yeah, yep.
I'm sorry, you're a moron or you're cheap or something. I don't know, because it's
both.
Like, yeah. So anyway, I'm waiting on a motherboard. So
nothing. For me, real quick, same kind of thing. Did you just burp again? What the hell did you eat? I'm leaving that in. I've been painting still. I did do a little more on my ghost, and I just broke. Did a little more on that. My goal, if I don't know, how do I do this? See right here, all this. These are like boxes and boxes of miniatures. I'm trying to build everything that I have and just leave it in gray plastic so I can decide what I'm going to paint, but I'm trying to get the boxes gone and thrown away. So I've just been sitting over at my bench putting miniatures together because I want the boxes gone.
So when you drop dead, it's like impossible for anyone to know what you have.
Yes. Because then when they find the Ziploc bags full of the miniatures from the 90s, what are you saluting me now?
Oh, I'm trying to focus on me. Oh, there we go.
There we go. And then I've been printing. I did print all those monster busts, and I printed. I printed a bunch of stuff. So I'm not going to rub it in. That's the workbench. We're going to keep it really short today. I thought of a new segment, and Scott had some homework to do, and he actually did it. Late, but he did it. It's called, and I'm going to make a cool little intro and put it here. It's called Scott's Number One.
Title says it all.
So here's the premise of this segment. Scott is our resin historian of the show because everyone knows I'm an idiot when it comes to that stuff. And it's going to be Scott's number one kit in a certain subject matter. And for this episode, since it's Halloween, it's classic monster. So Scott wanted to do a number one and a number two sometimes, and maybe an honorable mention. And Scott, so go ahead and explain how you broke it down after I give you your homework.
So what I broke it down is, and keep in mind, this is not a judgment. This isn't a knock against anybody else's. These are my favorite representations,
right,
of these characters, and they change sometimes. I'm not going to say they don't, but I had the pressure on today, so I did a lot of them.
Pressure was on today when I gave this to you 2 weeks ago.
Well, I had to do a lot of thinking, so I was getting seasick or whatever.
Oh man.
So anyway,
so name the categories. Just real quick rundown which ones we chose to go through.
So we chose the Phantom, the Mummy, the Creature, the Wolfman, Dracula, the Frankenstein Monster, and the Bride of Frankenstein.
So the core, when you think of Halloween monsters, there's the ones, the universal creatures, universal monsters, the originals. And so again, this is Scott's opinion, not my opinion.
I'd like to hear your opinion on these, just because it would be interesting.
I'll talk about these. I wanted to leave this just you and why you think they're awesome, but I will talk with you about them.
All right. So let's start out with the Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
Not one of my favorite modeling subjects.
Why?
Okay. I don't, it's iconic.
I'm going to treat you as a guest. So why? Why don't you like the Phantom?
It's an iconic thing. I guess because it's a silent movie and it never really interested me that much, but the Chaney makeup was beautiful. And, the character is iconic. And I have my share of Phantom kits, but not a lot. It's one of those subject matters I don't have a lot of.
Okay.
And so when you ask me to do this, okay, what to me is the number one Phantom of the Opera kit of all time? And I have to go with the Jaeger classic Phantom and Christine, which I just got a reissue of from Jeff. And it's the iconic scene where the Phantom is being unmasked by Christine. And paint up here is by Steve Riojas. And this, and again, I'm not knocking anything. This has got to be one of Jeff Yeager's best sculpts of all time, in my opinion. If you had this in your hand, and I remember I reviewed it, the detail in her dress, the likenesses, just it's perfect. It's to me, if there's an ultimate Phantom of the Opera kit, this is it. Now, a lot of people said, well, you should have the organ in front of them. And
that's
you could,
my opinion. Yeah.
Okay. But it would kind of take away from, the lower half of that sculpt.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying. Yes.
Okay. But you could put the organ there as well, if you wanted to, but just fantastic. Fantastic. And The next one,
I think. Well, hold on. Let's go back. You know what would be really? This could be one of those things like Ed Bradley talked about. Making old kits better with 3D printing. If someone made an organ to go with that, that would be kind of cool.
Yes.
That would be really cool. So
yes.
I think that's that would be cool.
This is again, I picked up one of the reissues, and it's one of those kits. I remember when John was selling the last one, and I looked at it and said, man, I should buy this. But it was like so much money at the time, and it was like, I don't know. It's the Phantom is not one of my favorites. And then I had seen Steve's built up, and I was just like, this thing is just unbelievable. And I think Dave Fisher did one too on the cover of AFM.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, this was to me, this is the ultimate Phantom. And there's other good Phantoms out there. But this is, to me, one of the ultimate iconic scenes in the movie.
Okay, so for the bust.
The bust, believe it or not, and there's been some good busts.
See, when I think of Phantom kits, I think of the geometric bust. I think.
I almost mentioned the geometric bust. So let me tell you what this one is. This is the Monsters from the Woods, sculpted by Jeff Yeager as well, quarter scale bust. I wasn't going to buy this because, again, sorry, Phantom. Yeah, whatever. But when I saw the picture of the sculpt, it was like so dead on. Now I got to have this. This is nice. This is really nice. So I did get this, and I really like it because I like the size. I like this quarter scale stuff. That being said, there are some really nice Cinart did and I'll talk about that when I do the monster as well. They did a Phantom and they did the monster, and they were both available in resin.
Okay.
And if you ever saw the resin of either of these, and I remember Steve did a build up of the resin one that was just phenomenal. And I think he did it for someone. I don't think it was for him. And then I picked up a vinyl one for $20 on closeout, but I felt so bad that he didn't even have one that I sent him the vinyl one because it was like, no, you need to repaint this thing because it's beautiful. So, so that would be an honorable mention for sure.
Okay.
But so you were talking about the geometric one, and the geometric one was very stylized. I think forgot who.
Yeah, it was. It was very stylized.
I don't know if it was Steve West or Tim Bruckner or who it was.
It looks like a Bruckner.
And or Tim Bruckner, he's friend requested me, and I go to accept, and I can't because he's already got 5,000 friends. Dude, I can't. You would tip him over the edge. We want to have him on, so we'll get him on. But yeah, it was really stylized, but it was really cool because the tie was flowing and stuff like that. And at some point, we'll do a super deformed one too, because there's a cool super deformed of the Phantom as well, or a couple of them. So
that would be a great one. Let's do the best super deformed of like all kinds. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. All right, for the Mummy, Scott's number 1, but we're gonna go in reverse order. Your honorable mention, Scott.
My honorable mention is, and this could be a number 1, because there were 3 actors that played the Mummy. It was Karloff, Chaney, and Tom Tyler.
Okay.
And my honorable mention Mummy kid here is the Tom Tyler one. And this, again, it's like, I look at this, and this was painted by Steve as well. Beautiful sculpt. The Tom Tyler Mummy. It's a beautiful sculpt. And this was one of those at the end of the show. I had some extra money, and John was closing shop, and he still had one. And then I'm looking at the buildup all weekend, and I'm finally like, you know what? I'm going to buy this. Here, I'm just going to buy this. And I bought it from him. It's really a beautiful kit, the Tom Tyler Mummy there. So I had a hard time between 1 and 2.
Okay.
And number 2, and the picture here is painted by Steve.
A lot of these are Steve, aren't they?
Oh. Yeah, the one on the left is not.
Yeah, okay.
Not who did that, but we'll credit it in the photos because I do have it. But these 2 are almost a tie to me. And, again, this goes to Karloff was in the mummy wrappings for like 30 seconds in the film. And you never really saw anything but his arm fall down. Now we know there's other things. There's publicity stills. There's one publicity still that Troy Nair did the scene of where he's over the table and the guy's looking at him. So I'm sure there's some lost footage that we'll never see. But I always liked number 2 because I thought if you could get a sarcophagus behind it, and he was kind of like leaning back like he was awkward, like it had good stiffness because it was like, well, here, he hasn't moved in thousands of years, and now all of a sudden, he's moving. And then the other one is the Monsters from the Woods one, and this is in the scene where he's going out the door. He's got the scroll and he's going out the door.
Yeah.
And again, another scene that was never filmed. But and the way Jeff sculpted these mummies, if you ever had one in your hand looking at it, you can see it here. I think he actually did wrap them with something.
I have number 2. I have that mummy up. That's the one mummy I have.
And it's probably the one Jaeger kit you have too. But so but yeah, so these are the 3.
Those are your mummies. Okay.
Those are my mummies. And it was hard to, and I'll also give an honorable mention to the Janus mummy. Not so much for the figure. It was an early figure of Jeff's. It was good. Don't get me wrong. But the base really just brought that kid out.
Yeah. That sarcophagus was good. Yep.
I always thought that the number 2 here would look good in front of that. Like he just came out of it.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was
and as we go, people who are watching, comment which are your favorites. We'd love to know what your number 1 is. What your honorable mentions are as well.
All right, so we're gonna go
busts for the mummy.
Bust. Oh, sorry. We're gonna go to bust for the mummy. Now, the Imhotep bust we talked about last episode, and it kind of falls in there because it's still the mummy.
It does.
Okay. And I almost call this a tie.
I think you could easily make that a tie and be okay with it.
Okay. And the other one was Mark Brokaw's. These weren't quite 1-to-1 scale. I forgot what the scale was. If it was, they're almost 1. Okay, they're almost
like half or something.
And this again was a beautiful piece. And what I loved on this one was the base. If you ever saw the Mummy, which you probably haven't,
I have seen the Mummy.
At the beginning, when they do the Mummy, it's on the the pyramids there with the mummy on it like that.
Yep.
So the base just really made that stand out. So
yep, I think both of those are. I think you nailed it on there.
Okay.
I don't disagree with anything yet so far.
Yeah, how could you? Let's go from the creature from the Black Lagoon.
All right, go.
Lots of choices.
Lots of choices. You probably. Okay. I mean, okay. Thinking back to all of these, creature and the monster, the most choices, or a creature Dracula monster or wolf? Like,
I don't know.
What do you think?
Definitely the monster would be first.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
I don't know. Kind of a draw after that. Aliens and predators.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So anyway, as everyone knows, there's 2 versions of the creature. There's the land creature. There's the swimming creature.
I wonder if Mark Worthling will agree with you.
I don't. What does he know? So anyway, the land creature is the one on the left. Another Riojas paint job. And that's a Horizon creature. And I think the Horizon creature still stands out as one of the best creature kits out there. There's been some good ones.
I agree.
But
I want to repaint mine.
It's beautiful. And again, if you ever take it out of the box, every once in a while when I'm going through kits, I'll pull that out of the box to check it out. It's just
and not paint it, just put it right back in the
box. And I remember that the paint job that was on the box was so like unconventional.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the one time I met Tom Gillian.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him about that. He was like, "Yeah, I hated that. I just did that, and I'm like, dude, that was so awesome, And it was so screen inaccurate, but it was so cool. So this is Steve's paint job is a lot more traditional.
That's beautiful.
And so as far as a land creature, that's my favorite. And as far as a swimming creature, that's a Needful Things sculpted by Rob Blusky, I think. And that was a Needful Things. He reissued it not too long ago. And that paint job is Thad's. And I'd like to get some more angles of that and some clearer close-ups. But this kit was beautiful. I got one of the original Brokaw castings, too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And it's just, as far as a swimming creature goes, it's right up there. So this is like, if I had to choose one of these two, I'd be hard-pressed. If they said you can only keep one.
All right, do it.
I would say...
Which one would you keep?
I'd probably keep the swimmer just because it's more dynamic.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, just my opinion. So, it's not written in stone. And then my favorite creature bust, I'm going to go back to John Deary's Monster from the Woods quarter scale creature. It's one of the few things I have painted.
Yeah, wait, hold it up. Why didn't you use a picture of your paint job?
I don't know, because my paint job sucks.
No, it doesn't.
So anyway,
grab it. Pull that thing down.
That's too far up.
Pull it. Stand up and pull it down. I'll edit it. There it is. Look at that. Scott painted something.
Yeah.
I think that's a great paint job. Oh, don't drop it. It's spinning on there.
He's spinning. Yeah.
No, that is a great bust.
And yeah, so I think this is right up there. There's been a couple other busts. Mark Brokaw had a life-size. I'll tell you what, Sideshow had a life-size bust that was really nice. I wish I'd have bought it when I could have bought it for under $1,000 because now it's like huge money. But and Rotundi, I think it was Rob Blusky, saying that it did a swimming creature, also did a bust, and I have one of those too, and that's really nice.
That is a nice bust.
And then I also have
that's the one that appears in 40-Year-Old Virgin, right?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's in there.
Huh.
I'm almost positive.
So anyway, those are my creature. Now there's a lot of creature kits out there, and there's a lot of beautiful creature kits out there, but these are my favorites.
Those are Scott's. Again, this is Scott's number one. We want to know your number one as well. So, Wolfman.
And by the way, I want to go on record as saying neither of those creatures were sculpted by Jeff Yeager, although the bust was. So there you go.
Wolfman.
Which, of course, we're going to go back into the Yeager territory. A lot of good Wolfman kits out there that are sculpted by Jeff Yeager, especially. This one was one of my favorites because it reminded me of the creature features beginning when he was coming out from behind the tree.
I know you're talking about. Yep.
Okay. The other one I do like is the Forbidden Zone one, which was the early Yeager, what they call Tiptoed Wolfman, and then Dave Fisher did the Crypt Base, with the wall. I like that one a lot too. This one's probably my favorite of the lot, and this was yeah, I don't know. I just like
who makes it. Like
this was Six String Productions, and then it got sold to Resin Crypt. So I don't know who or if anyone's going to make it.
Yeah, it might be gone forever now.
And busts, and again, there's a lot of good busts out there. There's some quarter scale busts. This is the Blackheart 1-to-1 scale wall hanger. Now it's the same head as their 360, but I never liked the way the 360 looked. He was kind of looking over, and I didn't care for the way he looked. I liked the wall hanger better because he was looking straight on. So, and then not sure who did this black and white photo. Or
I was gonna say, do you know who painted both of these?
I'm not sure who did the black and white. I don't know, okay. But beautiful. It just
it's I like just looking at it from what I can see.
It's almost like you're looking at a photograph too.
So it looks like a black and white photograph
because it's fantastic.
Cool.
Okay.
All right,
Dracula. This was easy for me.
Easy.
This was by far the easiest for me to do. It was no doubt for me. My favorite Dracula kit of all time is the Janus Dracula. Okay, and this shows the whole diagram of the Janus Dracula with the bride and all that. And even the Dracula just by itself stands alone. Sculpted by Mike Hill.
So I have built and painted one of those. Not the whole thing, just the Dracula. And I agree.
Dracula.
That is a really nice kit. I think that base with the dog, like that thing, if you had your, I don't know, your Garage Kit Hall of Fame, that's in there. Like that whole thing.
And I love the pose. I loved everything about this.
Yep. It's funny. When the kids are walking down the hallway at school with their hoods on or their hats on, I do that point at them. And they're always like, what is wrong with you? I'm practicing my Dracula point. And I'm like, take your hat off as they walk by.
And then my favorite Dracula bust is the Blackheart, sculpted by Jeff Yeager.
Okay.
360. Now, I don't like the wall hanger as much as I like the 360 on this one. It gets so confusing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. The only thing is I wish the collar would have been a separate piece so you could paint behind it a little easier. But
do you know who painted this one?
Not sure who painted this one.
Okay.
No. And this was sold.
If anyone watching this knows who painted this, put it in the comments so we can give them credit.
This again, this was I got on a little kick for a while doing full size. I wanted to have full size of all the monsters and of the classic monsters. And so as these were coming out from George, it was like, okay, cool, that one's good. Yeah, that one's good. That one's good. Yeah, I really like this one. So Dracula was easy.
Dracula was easy for you. Okay.
All right, so I'm going to go to the monster now. And there were different actors that played the monster, and there were different makeups.
And so how many do you have of the monster in your personal collection?
I want to say 75.
Okay.
Different Frankenstein monsters in my collection. So this list could change. If I do this again in a year, it could change.
I think I have one.
It's because you're a loser. Go buy some more Lord of the Rings shit. So,
hold on, I'm on my cord now.
Great. Yeah, I'm on my cord too.
I have the plastic. No, I have two. I have two, and they're both styrene.
And
no, wait, I have an original Aurora.
Okay.
I have a long box reissue. That's two. I have
same kit though, so that only counts as one.
Okay, but still, no, they're two same. Well, okay, you're right. And then I have
Say that part again.
The Mobius.
No, that I'm right part. I like.
You're right. Part. You're right. The Mobius I have, and then I have the. Is it Mobius where he's coming through the door?
Oh yeah,
I have that one. I'm sure that was high on your list. And then I had.
I don't even have it. It's so bad. But.
And then I have the Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein monster.
Which is for a styrene kit, beautiful.
Yep.
It is.
So I do have more than one. Okay. Sorry.
All right. So we're going to go on to the monster from the 31 film. We're going to start there.
Nope. And I have a McVeigh holding the flower.
Okay.
Which is my favorite.
Okay. I'm going to go old school on this one.
All right.
The Billiken Frankenstein is still my favorite.
Still your number one after all these years and all these kits.
There's all these kits. The Billiken Frankenstein still captures it really well. Now, I will say this. Jeff has sculpted better likeness on a lot of Frankenstein kits. Okay. This just is still one of my personal favorites.
What is it about that kit?
Well, and I remember when I first saw it too, and I wish I'd have posted a picture of the profile or got a picture of the profile, but he kind of had this little hunch to him, and it just captured the posture of the monster so perfectly. And the likeness is good. Don't get me wrong, the likeness is good. And I love that it's a classic garage kit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the Janus Dracula. And so to me, this one still holds up.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it's as crisp and as good of especially a head sculpt as a lot of the stuff Jeff's done since, but
because it's not. It is soft, but I know you're like those older Billikens are soft like that because I have a Godzilla that's soft in detail.
I would have liked to have seen the original sculpt in that.
Yeah,
but it was beautiful. So, and my favorite monster bust comes from our friends over at Stan Arts. And the first time I saw this, I said, I have to have this.
So the cool thing here is you have very old and very new.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's.
Yeah. And there's some other full-size busts. I have the Blackheart from the Bride wall hanger because I have the Bride wall hanger too, which we'll get to in a minute. But, and I do, this was a close one for me because I do have the Sin Art bust.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really nice. So I remember when I was going through kits, my stepdaughter looking at it going, this thing looks real. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's there's aspects of that are, you know, I could almost give it a tie, but I do like David's. I just like David's. I like the presentation.
I like it better. I think there's more feeling in this one.
Yes.
And more emotion comes through and more sadness of just like, dude, I don't want to be alive.
So that's the monster from the original movie. Now let's talk about the monster from the Bride of Frankenstein.
Okay, your best Bride of Frankenstein monster.
Easily this one. This house room addition to my house.
The 900 pounder.
It's 21 or 25 pounds. It's a big kit. Now, Paul Gill's going to reissue just the monster in the chair soon.
Okay.
Because he acquired the rights, but you're never going to see it with the clamshell and everything in the back. What a hunk of resin this was. Okay.
Yeah.
This again goes to, it's an iconic scene from that movie. And it was a kit that I had always hoped someone would make, and someone did make it. And I love it. And it's a great sculpt. I'm not sure how many with the wall there are. I think there's only 25 of them or something.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Who sculpted it for people?
Jeff Yeager. And I think Jeff even tried to talk the original maker of this kit out of making it so big. Or Rob Saloni was the original maker of the kit. But I do have an original, big one. And I love it. And I don't have it up here, but if there was a bust of the monster from the Bride, it would be Howard S.'s bust. And I do have one. I just would have to go shoot a photo of it. We'll get a picture of it and we'll put it up here. But Howard S.'s monster from the Bride is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I know Jeff Camp did a cover of AFM with the Go-Go style paint on it. It's beautiful. So that would be my bust for this monster if there was a bust. So the next one.
Okay.
The third in the installment.
Which is my favorite Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, and this is the monster from Son of Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really what I call 4 really good kits of this. And this is the most recent Monsters from the Woods. And it's Phil Lister's paint job on the one on the left. And Lister Model Works. Phil's all over YouTube and everywhere. And give Phil a shout out if you would.
I'll give him a link.
But take your time, whatever you're doing down there. He's got this
something again.
thesis or whatever again.
I'll give him a link.
And then there's the raw sculpt. I think that photo is like stretched a little bit on his build-up, Phil's build-up. Looks like it's the head stretched a little bit. That's the actual sculpt on the right. This is probably my favorite monster from Son of. That being said, I do have John Tucky had one that was right up there as good. And it had an Igor piece that went with it. Years ago, Rob Rotundi did one that was really simple, but I still really like it. I have it, and it's cast in green, cold cast. I'd like to stick it up his ass, porcelain, whatever it is. But, and then Forbidden Zone. And the Forbidden Zone was a 3-figure. It's Igor and the Basil Rathbone figure. And I like it, but I never liked the likeness of the monster.
I built that one and painted that for Mike Balstigno.
So when John Tucky came out with his, I got an extra head from him. And I think I will put the Jaeger head on that kit when I do it. And I think that'll be pretty cool. Because it was the only thing I didn't like about that kit was the likeness of the monster. So I know. We'll get Mike Allen and Charlie will come out here. They'll kill me.
Yeah.
The next one is the Glenn Strange monster. Oh, you know what I didn't put in here? I didn't put the Lon Chaney Jr monster. But my favorite one of that is the.
You're gonna have to give me a picture.
I'll give you a picture. We'll put it up here.
Okay.
And it's the one where he's burning. He's on fire.
Okay.
And what's kind of funny about that is they use that same footage at the end of House of Frankenstein too, I think. And it was the Chaney monster melting. So it's kind of like, Universal reused a lot of things. And there was a good bust from Geometric of the Chaney as the monster too. But it wasn't one of my favorites. I didn't put the Bela Lugosi monster in here because it was terrible. I never cared for Bela Lugosi as the monster.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
So I didn't put that in there. If I had to give it a nod, Forbidden Zone had a Frankenstein meets the Wolfman that was based on a and I really liked that one that Mike Hill sculpted. And I know John Yeager sculpted one too for John that was good. It wasn't my favorite monster. And last is the Glenn Strange as the monster. And unfortunately I can only find a little picture, and it's Steve's build-up. This is the end of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein where he's on the pier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I never will get credit for it, but this was actually my idea. So
oh man, how many? Yeah, okay.
So,
all right.
John and I, that's like Worthling, he gives me credit for nothing.
Uh-huh.
He just, hey, keep sending me money.
See how far back this goes? Yep.
Hey, keep giving me free advertising, sending me money. Okay, Mark, here you go. Which, by the way, my Young Frankenstein is on the way. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it in time for this episode, so I'll get it in next episode. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? It depends on the casting. So,
okay.
If it wasn't for Shanna, I'd cut that bastard loose. I'm telling you right now. Okay. So anyway, John,
I think he's worried about his spot being taken. That's what I think is going on here.
John wanted to do another Frankenstein kit because, of course, they always sold.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to do another Glenn Strange because the other one he had his hands up in the air and people made fun of him, called him the volleyball Frankenstein. And
it did look like that.
But it was beautiful sculpt. So he says, I think I want to do, what do you think? And I said, how about, this? And I kind of, the scene from the movie. And that's what he ended up going with. And it worked out. And I will say this too. There are some other good Glenn Strange Frankenstein kits out there. Escape Hatch has one that's like Aurora scale, Todd Powell.
Yeah.
That's really good. The original Strange Encounter from Monsters in Motion, that's really good. So there have been some good Glenn Strange Frankensteins. I have a bust that's loosely based on the Bama art from the Big Frankie that Tony did for Fritz. And that thing's just beautiful. So, and then my favorite bust, however, is probably this one. And I think it's just been reissued by Earthbound. It was Rebel Resin did this initially. And this was the Glenn Frankenstein 1-to-1 or pretty close to 1-to-1 scale bust.
Is that whose paint job?
Not sure. Wish I knew.
I like that a lot. Again, yeah. So if you know,
that's the when I think of the monster, that's a color I really like with the yellow. Steve always does a nice job too. And David Stan has done some great work too with the different, and he's used some different colors variation. But yeah, I always like this one.
That's a good piece.
And last, but certainly not
Bride of Frankenstein.
Bride of Frankenstein. Now, been a lot of kits of the Bride of Frankenstein. My personal favorite is the Aurora box art tribute. Ask me who sculpted it.
Who sculpted it?
course, Jeff sculpted it.
Okay.
Okay. This really looks like her too. If you held this kit in your hand, it really looks like her. I like being an old Aurora guy. I love, that it was an Aurora boxer. This was the first one I bought, and I wasn't going to buy the rest of them until that bastard Worthling started putting them out because they never finished the line. Okay. And then that bastard comes around and starts sucking money out of me, which he made no money off of it, but he cost me a shit ton. This is really a nice kit. It's of all the box art kits, I think Mark will kill me. So far, I think this is one of the best ones. The Witch is really good too.
Yeah.
But this is the one that really got me looking at him going, this is a good idea. So
it is beautiful. I will agree with you.
It's really no, but I'm going to tell you something funny about this particular kit, and it drives me nuts. So that electrode on the side of her head with the circle on it.
Uh-huh.
So I get this kit and I'm going through the parts, and there's only one. And I'm like, am I missing a part? Am I going to have to cast the same? I have to get a hold of Monsters in Motion and get one. So there's a parts list, and I'm going through it. Only comes with one because that's the side you see.
Yep.
And that will just bug me to no end. I will either have to make one or cast that one or something because that will bug me.
That would bug me too. I have symmetry issues. I agree.
I mean, I understand why they only put one in there, but would it have killed you to spend that extra 5 cents in resin and cast the second one? Apparently, maybe. My favorite bust of the Bride of Frankenstein. And again, there's been a few that are really nice. One of them I really liked years ago was Mark Van Tyne's that he did for Resident Realities. And he did a Pretorius bust from the movie, and he did the Bride. And I thought those were the two best ones. And I did like that one a lot. This is Blackheart's 1-to-1 scale wall hanger. And I initially bought the 360. And it was good. But then the wall hanger came out, and I liked the way the wall hanger was posed better. And it was so I sold my 360 and I bought the wall hanger.
I can see that.
And that's why I have the monster from the Bride wall hanger as well, because to me they just go together.
Mm-hmm.
So,
who painted this one?
I think that Steve Park did that one.
Yep. Okay.
So there you go. Those are my.
Those are Scott's number one. If you disagree, let us know. We'd love to hear that conversation.
And I know there's other Universal monsters, and I'll just throw some honorable mentions. The Metal Mutant, the Mark Brokaw, Big Head that's a beautiful piece. The Dr. Jekyll or the Mr. Hyde, again, the Jaeger Monsters from the Woods bust is really good. I always liked the original geometric bust too by Mike Hill. So, and then
maybe we could just do like a Scott's number one and just do it once more often. Instead of a big long list.
Yeah. Hey, cool. I'll tell you what. Send in your suggestions.
Yeah.
What do you want? My number one what?
Yeah. Ooh, good idea.
Don't ask me for Lord of the Rings shit because my number one would be number 2. So.
All right. Emails, voicemails, and corrections. Our first voicemail is from...
It's warranty. Since we have not gotten a response, we are giving you a final courtesy call before you close out your file. Press 2 to be removed and put on our do not call list. Press 1 to speak.
Okay.
Model Club TV doesn't even own a car. We're getting car warranty.
We should call him back.
We should. I can't. Guys, we need more voicemails. All right. We have one other. Yeah. Our next voicemail is from CG Blade.
Hello, baby. Hey, this is Mr. Blade, and I am calling just to say hi. I thought I was gonna grab my laptop and I was gonna write a quick email, and I thought, oh, wait a minute, better use this number. Anyways, Scott, Jason, hope you guys are doing well. I just wanted to comment on one thing. Last week, you had a gentleman on, and he insisted that we no longer use grade primer. And I thought, well, damn, what about the gray primer plants? They need to run too. So, but seriously, whenever I use gray primer, it's always because I'm between a white and a black. When it comes to either the character or the base, like a Star Trek something, I'll prime it gray. Something else that's a creature that I might prime black. Another base I might prime white, depending on what it looks like. I just got the Flintstone girl creature base with the sand where she's holding onto his leg, and I primer that white because I know it's going to be a sand color. So I think it all goes with the territory. I don't think we should all stop using gray primer, but I do think that it depends on the color wheel. It depends on the complementary colors that you're planning on using. If you think a little bit ahead of time, about what you're using. I know they also have a crap load of gray or colored primers. Like we have a Menards here. Don't know if you guys have that store. They have colored primer of every color. So it's not unheard of to be using a red primer or whatever. So anyways, I just want to call and say hi and tell you guys you're doing a great job. And we love your show. We watch it every 2 weeks. Jackie and I do. And hopefully we'll meet up soon. Take care, guys, and have a good day. Thanks. Bye.
Cool. Thank you, CG. He sent us another voicemail afterwards. Hellfire, his latest novel, is doing really well. He got came in second place in the contest with his book. If you would like to order it, it's on Amazon. I'll get a link in here. But Hellfire is doing really well. And Scott and I are characters in that book. And
yeah, I'm some kind of gas sniffing, pill popping. I don't know how I ended up the weirdo.
You're always gas sniffing, though. So I think it's, par for the course. All right, we do have some emails, and I'm going to get through these pretty quick with the readers. And Phil increased his font size. And Phil starts off with, yet another great episode. Now, Jason, I know that you want your viewers, listeners to call in and leave a voicemail, but along with making you suffer, I am of the mindset that we need to keep people employed. One case in point, here in Oregon, we still have people pump our gas. That's like New Jersey too, right?
Yeah, the only two states, I think. It's New Jersey and
Weirdos.
Oregon.
Get out of your goddamn cars.
Unfortunately, I wish someone would pump my gas.
Yeah.
Wait about a month and you'll be saying, I wish I could get someone to come pump my gas.
I like winter. I'm good. Unfortunately, Walmart and other businesses don't feel like I do. I went into a local Walmart recently, and they have converted almost all their checkout stands to self-serve. And you even have to make sure that the self-checkout that you are at will not only take your credit debit card, but will accept cash. Not all of them do. I am all for the self-checkout. The less people I have to talk to, the better. And for your convenience, Jason, I've increased the size of my font to make it easier for you to read. The interview with Ed Bradley was great. Episodes with guests seem to be your best. Oh, son of a bitch. This episode's going to suck. Good for Ed, building and painting commissions, etc. for others. As I said before, I used to build a lot for others, but as I am getting older, I have more kits in my stash than I can possibly build in 3 lifetimes. I very rarely build for others. I'm right there with you. Like, I only have one client, and I finally just got something from him the other day. What tools you use in building painting kits was discussed. For my 2 cents, I'd like to submit the idea of something I learned in one of my college art classes. If you use acrylic paints, which I use exclusively, use a china plate for your palette. When the paint dries on it, just fill it with some hot tap water, let it sit in the sink for a while, and you can peel the paint right off. A lot less going in the landfill than using a paper plate, styrofoam plate, or some other disposable palette. Agreed. I agree. Like plastic, it sticks to that. Really, like this plastic palette thing that came with one of the palettes, I cannot chip the paint out of there for the life of me. One more item. Jason, have you found a source that can supply your loved ones with a big enough jar and alcohol and enough alcohol to put your remains in when you pass away? I don't think the jar will fit on a shelf. I am pretty big, actually. You'll have to sit on the floor. No, that's because I would like a Viking funeral where they set me on fire and push me out into a lake, or just a big funeral pyre out in a field somewhere. I want to be burned up on a big pile of sticks. So
I'd give anything to light that flame.
You're on. If we can use your backyard.
Hopefully he's on his last leg still alive, just so I can hear one last blood-curdling scream.
Help, I'm not dead.
Who's your model club daddy now?
You son of a bitch. All right. This is from Chuck Hamoka. Hey, I talked to my Etsy friend, and he said it would be great to talk about his store / 3D printing. If you would like something printed, Chuck has a great place. Scott is being mean to me. For you to print, and it's over on Etsy. His prices are right on the mark and not inflated. He does get a lot of work, and regular turnaround time for when you send your file is about 2 weeks. That's not too bad, actually. So I don't want anyone crabbing where are the prints, since he's a great guy and does great work. So it's it's 3D Directive Studio, and his name is Michael Nicola, and he's the owner of it. So I'm going to put a link down there below to Michael Nicola's 3D Directive Studio. If you would like something printed, he's over on Etsy. Great prices, great turnaround, free advertising from us. Give us a shout out at some point. That'd be great. I'm going to talk about that next. The one last thing we need from everyone. Final email from Marty.
Marty.
Marty. I haven't heard from Marty in a while. We have, but just not on the show. Thought I'd send you a most recent rendering, and it's going to be in the gallery below. It's Playing with the Light. Poster Monster 62 from Moon Devil Studio. Sculpted by John Dennett. I'll throw it up here for a second, and I'll put it in the gallery as well. And completed. God, I love rendering this kit. When John presented this kit, I right away contacted him and ordered the sculpt. I tell you, folks, this has to be one of my favorite kits in my collection. Why? Well, yet again, John did an exceptional sculpt. Something about this artist's work simply speaks to me. There's so much subtle energy in John's work, and the detail, wow. When I saw this sculpt, I was immediately transported back in time. Growing up as a child in the 60s, I was a monster kid. This illustration by the great Jack Davis has been engraved in my mind ever since I first saw it. So to have a sculpt of this illustration was a no-brainer. As a child, I had a Frankenstein monster head as a wallet. I think I remember seeing that wallet somewhere. Or had it. Oh, I want to see that. All those grass cutting, snow shoveling, empty bottles, pickup pennies, and nickels put away in his head. Money used to purchase comic books and anything monster related. The head was made of cheap rubber plastic, was a 3D sculpt, and you could put your change through a slit in the back of the head. I totally remember that thing. Seeing John sculpt.
You remember that?
I remember seeing there's like a monster, a Frankenstein's monster wallet. I remember seeing one of those.
Find a picture of it.
I will. All right. John sculpted before the forehead reminded me so much of that wallet. I had so much fun rendering this kit as my blood brothers, Jason and Scott, recently put forth. It paints itself. I had never heard of that expression before, but man, it suits it for this kit. Just a fantastic kit to work on. A fun token of my wonderful childhood years. Nothing complicated here, folks. All done with acrylics, inks, and pastels, 2 coats of floor wax. This kit is so important to me that he shall stand on my bureau constantly, bringing smiles to my face and great memories. Thank you, John, for making a kit that goes beyond being a great kit. I am happy and honored to possess such an incredible artifact. Stay safe, people. Old Uncle Marty. So I'm going to keep it up here. It is a really nice kit, and he did a great job with it.
Yeah,
thanks, Marty.
We got to bug Dennett again to get him on here.
Yeah, we got to get him on here. Okay, the one thing we need from everybody, Scott. We need more subscribers.
Money?
We need people to share the podcast out. So if you can, if people don't know about us, I know there's not a lot of Garage Kid people out there, but in your 3D printing places, anywhere on your Facebook page, if you want, please share us out. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we're still under 500, and it's over a year and a half almost. So please, it'd be great. Year and a half, 2 years almost.
A little over a year.
A little over a year.
Feels like 5. But...
It does feel like 5. So if you could please, it'd be great. Share us. Let people know about us. Please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. It really
does. Have your dog subscribe. We don't care.
Yeah. Have your wife subscribe. We don't care. But that subscribe, it just helps us in the YouTube algorithms to get noticed. And please, we'd really appreciate it. And we thank everybody for everything so far. I never thought we'd make it this far, at least. So, Scott, any parting words?
Happy Jason's birthday.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Thank you, Paul Gill, for the ornaments we're going to give away this episode. Again, you're the worst thing that ever happened to you on Christmas. That's what we want to know. If it's not depressing. Or if it is, that's okay. But if you're willing to share it. How about worst funny thing?
Sure.
That'll make it better. Coming up next episode, Scott
wants to talk about the 3D printing world. And there's so much going on out there. And I'm not just talking to, I'm not just speaking to the, what's out there and what's cool about it and all that, but what's ethical and what's not ethical and what's going on out there when people buy a file. Because what's going on is if you go to eBay, there's a ton of people selling prints of a file they bought. And so it's,
there's a lot of gray area right now.
There's a lot of gray areas. Yep. CG Trader is not real clear on their policies. And I don't even think some of these sculptors realize, that this is happening. And I will say this, if you're getting into 3D printing, stay off of Etsy for buying files. Okay. Because what happens is a lot of guys go and they buy files. And once they got it, would be like me taking Wells Groovy Ghoulies and buying all 5 of them and then going on Etsy and selling files.
Yeah.
And making money off someone else's work. And it's just wrong. It's the kind of thing that the Garage Kit elders are really worried about and hate. And I'd really like, maybe we could get some guys on here to talk about it.
Yeah, that's why I'd love to. Even if it's like little 5-minute interviews, maybe we'll push for that. But yeah, it's something that needs to be talked about. Definitely.
We were going to do it this episode, but we got entranced in Halloween. And
yeah.
But it's going to come because I want to talk about it.
Cool. All right, everybody. Have a great couple weeks. Be safe. Don't eat any razor blades and apples. And I don't know. Put some dog shit on someone's doorstep.
Yeah. Light it on fire. Yeah. What a great idea.
The good old days. All right. Hang in there, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Let's start over.
Yeah. Okay. What are we giving?
We're doing it this episode. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So let's start over. Scott, our next giveaway for this episode.
The giveaway for this
Start over.